Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, while imagination embraces the world.
This encapsulates Albert Einstein, a genius whose visionary thoughts transcended conventional thinking.
The early 20th century was a time of scientific curiosity but also of rigidity. Amidst this, a young man in Germany dared to dream of a cosmos governed not just by laws but by imagination. Born on March 14, 1879, in Ulm, Einstein's early years were marked by struggles against an educational system that stifled his creativity. The stark and austere classrooms of Munich, where he spent his formative years, were filled with the musty scent of chalk dust and the sound of stern voices echoing off the cold stone walls. Perceived as a misfit, he was captivated by light and time, concepts that would later shape his revolutionary ideas.
In Munich and Switzerland, he devoured texts, fueling his dreams of transforming science.
Einstein was not just restless, he envisioned a world where nature's laws spoke a language of interconnectedness. He imagined riding alongside a beam of light, contemplating existence, time, and space. This visualization capability allowed him to frame complex theories in imaginative narratives. Even faced with skepticism, his creative mind constructed realities others couldn't grasp. His intellect was not just formulas, it was a rich tapestry woven from creativity and curiosity. His adolescent years were driven by a desire to understand the universe, leading him to study great thinkers like Newton and Mach. Despite facing challenges within traditional education, he channeled his passion into unique perspectives that would later disrupt scientific paradigms. In 1905, known as his Annus Mirabilis or Miracle Year, Einstein published 4 groundbreaking papers that would reshape the very fabric of science. The first paper, detailing the photoelectric effect, was a radical departure from classical physics. It proposed that light could be both a wave and a particle, introducing the concept of quantization. This momentous shift would later earn him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921, a recognition that validated his imaginative leap beyond the established scientific norms. The scene in the Swiss Patent Office, where he worked during this period, was a tapestry of mundane reality interwoven with profound thought. Dull paperwork surrounded him, the hum of typewriters, the rustle of documents, and the indifferent conversations of colleagues formed a backdrop to his revolutionary thoughts. Under the flickering glow of gas lamps, Einstein's mind danced with equations and concepts that transcended the drudgery of his day job. "I often think in terms of a daydream," he later reflected. "These visions are as vivid to me as any experience in the physical world." In his second groundbreaking paper, he introduced the theory of special relativity, positing that time and space are not absolute. This essay, written in the solitude of his modest apartment in Bern, was birthed from his acute realization that the laws of physics are the same for all observers, regardless of their relative motion. The elegant simplicity of the equation E equals mc squared, derived from his work, captured the essence of mass-energy equivalence, forever altering humanity's understanding of the universe. In the quietude of night, as the moon bathed his workspace in silver light, Einstein mused on the profound implications of this new understanding. "I never think of the future. It comes soon enough." His third groundbreaking paper delved into Brownian motion, providing empirical evidence for the existence of atoms, further legitimizing his theory of molecular motion. Within the pages of scientific journals, Einstein articulated what many dismissed as the fanciful notions of a dreamer, yet the precision of his reasoning lent credence to his ideas. The details of pollen grains dancing in water became a metaphor for the unseen forces governing the universe, and critics could no longer ignore the reality of atomic existence. The final piece of this miraculous year touched upon the mass-energy equivalence, E equals mc squared, a formula that not only connected mass and energy in a breathtakingly simple manner but also opened doors to future technologies, including nuclear power, a double-edged sword of discovery that would later haunt humanity. The impact of this formula would radiate throughout the decades, shaping scientific endeavors, technological advancements, and even sparking ethical debates about the nature of power and destruction. Across the span of a few short years, from 1905 to the end of the 1910s, Einstein transformed from an obscure patent clerk into a figure revered across the globe. His ability to blend creativity with rigorous scientific inquiry set a new standard for what it meant to be a physicist. Philosophers and artists alike sought his counsel, drawn to the magnetic pull of his imagination. In 1911, he took on a professorship at Prague, where he began exploring the principles of gravitational fields. The opulent halls of the university buzzed with intellectual fervor, each lecture a symphony of thought. It was there he first contemplated the curvature of spacetime, a concept so profound that it would redefine humanity's conception of gravity. But this was not merely a cerebral journey, it was also an emotional one. The weight of his growing fame began to encroach upon his personal life. As he navigated the demands of academia, the conflicting pressures of public scrutiny and personal commitment weighed heavily on his shoulders. His marriage to Mileva Maric, an intelligent physicist in her own right, began to fracture under the strain. Einstein, who once admired her wit and insight, found himself increasingly absorbed in his work, leaving their partnership feeling neglected and fraught with tensions. "I am too busy to be troubled by your questions," he once confessed to her in a moment of frustration, highlighting the chasm between his personal desires and professional aspirations. As the Great War engulfed Europe, Einstein faced yet another layer of conflict, his pacifist ideals clashing with the rampant nationalism that permeated society. In 1914, he published a heartfelt open letter, urging world leaders to seek peace through understanding and cooperation rather than through warfare. As the emerging storm of conflict tore through the continent, his heart ached for a world he feared might never embrace his vision of unity. "I am convinced that the only thing that will ever unify humanity is understanding, not control," he reflected, wrestling with the despair of a world divided. However, the war also brought new opportunities. In 1915, he introduced his general theory of relativity, a masterwork born from turmoil and reflection. The picturesque landscapes of the Berner Oberland, with its majestic peaks piercing the heavens, served as a stunning backdrop for his thoughts. Deep within these serene vistas, Einstein grappled with the profound implications of his equations, which revealed that massive objects distort the fabric of spacetime, causing the phenomenon we perceive as gravity. His personal connection to the world around him manifested in his work. He often remarked, "The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion which stands at the cradle of true art and true science." In 1919, the world turned its gaze toward the heavens when a solar eclipse provided the perfect opportunity to test Einstein's theories. As asteroids streaked across the night sky, scientists from the Royal Society in London prepared for a moment that would solidify Einstein's status as a scientific luminary. The expedition to observe the eclipse in the remote regions of Brazil and Africa was fraught with challenges, as storms threatened to obscure the celestial event. Yet the determination of the scientists prevailed. When the images returned, they revealed the bending of light around the sun, validating Einstein's predictions and sending shockwaves through the scientific community. The news swept across the globe, and newspapers heralded his findings with dramatic headlines, catapulting him into the limelight of fame. Yet, despite this adulation, Einstein remained grounded. In a letter to a friend, he mused, "I do not want to be a genius, I just want to be a human being." This humility, amid soaring recognition, defined his character. The subsequent years witnessed an avalanche of public and media attention. With every lecture and appearance, he slowly evolved into a cultural icon, representing not just scientific achievement but also the potential of a visionary spirit unshackled by convention. Crowds gathered in admiration, captivated by the man who dared to dream beyond the stars. Yet even amidst the applause, he recognized the dangers of fame, stating, "Fame is like a bee. It has a sting, and it gives honey, but also it consumes the very existence of the individual." By the 1930s, as the world plunged deeper into turmoil with the rise of fascism, Einstein's voice became one of reason and hope, advocating for human rights and social justice. He stood firm against the tide of hatred and division, calling for a world that embraced diversity and understanding. His own Jewish heritage subjected him to scrutiny, yet he used his platform boldly, declaring, "Peace cannot be kept by force, it can only be achieved by understanding." In 1933, the ominous shadow of Nazism forced him to flee Germany, where years of intellect and innovation had taken root. The vibrant streets of Berlin, once a symbol of progress and enlightenment, were now suffocated by oppression. As he arrived in the United States, he joined the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, where he continued his work and became a passionate advocate for civil rights, tirelessly championing causes that sought an end to inequality.
The once quiet leafy town became the backdrop of a man who transformed the scientific landscape. Albert Einstein's legacy will forever echo through the annals of history, not merely as a physicist but as a visionary who bridged worlds, merging imagination with scientific inquiry. His thoughts and ideas reshaped our understanding of reality and spurred generations of thinkers, dreamers, and innovators. He continued to explore the universe's mysteries until his last days, reflecting on the interconnection between science and humanity. A quote that resonates through the ages encapsulates his vision: "A human being is part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space." He experiences himself, his thoughts, and feeling as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. In the end, Albert Einstein's journey serves as a testament to the power of imagination, daring all to explore the dimensions of thought, creativity, and boundless curiosity. His story is not merely one of a scientist, it is a celebration of the human spirit's relentless pursuit of understanding and the courage to dream beyond the known.